What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now that we've all had a chance to see the Avengers 4 trailer at least 100 times since its release last week, the number one question on everyone's mind is, who's going to rescue Tony Stark? So we're going to go over the top 5 Avengers that will most likely rescue Tony Stark from his exploration in space. Before we do that, if you could, grab the subscribe button. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole ton of other Marvel-related stuff. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, and I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again at the end of the video. So like I said, Tony is stuck in space, presumably on a dead ship, no comms, no food, no water, as he let us know. And the question is, who's going to save him, or how is he going to get out of this? Unless he's going to die right here in the beginning of the movie, which looks odd. We also have no confirmation this is the beginning of the movie, but I think it's safe to say it's right after Titan. So the number 1, or rather the number 5, that is, I'm going to go in order of who's most likely, is Rocket or / Rocket Thor. The thing is that the Milano is still Rocket's ship, and out of all the people who survived, he still has a connection to that ship and would probably want to find it and or know what happened to the rest of his team, the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, you can see some of the lights on in the ship, but I'm going to presume that the ship is completely dead and that there's no communications back to the ship. Let's just go and assume that, because if the comms were up, I think Tony might have figured out a way to use them. So presumably Rocket can't just comms back to the ship and say, hey, where are you guys? What happened to my team? Who's this? But Rocket is a master of technology. And I think if anybody had a chance of putting a futuristic hyperspace LoJack on the Milano, it was probably them. If you don't know what a LoJack is, that's a device that helps you find your car, also known as a GPS locator. So if he has some sort of built-in honing device, locator, etc., he has Thor with the means to travel there via Stormbreaker's Bifrost, and he has himself and his own technology. So I think one of the most likely of all of them, but the least likely of this bunch, would be Rocket to go rescue Iron Man. Now, the second Avenger I'm going to bring up, and number 4 on our list, that is number 4, the 4th least likely of the 5 most likely people to find Tony Stark and rescue him. Did you guys catch all that? The 4th least likely member of the most likely bunch is Ant-Man. Shout out to Cosmic Wonder. He did an awesome video yesterday talking about the possibilities of Ant-Man being in the quantum realm, already existing there, knowing there's time vortices, plus the quantum energy, having the ability to perhaps reach out, travel through dimensions and or space to save him. I think his connection to the quantum realm and the history that that character has built through the MCU gives him one of the best possibilities. However, he's still only number 4 on our list, given the fact that he has his own problems to solve. He technically also is lost in space. Number 3 on our list, well, how about that, is Rescue herself, Miss Pepper Potts. We all remember there was a leaked photo on Gwyneth Paltrow's Instagram of her wearing the very famous blue rescue suit directly out of the comics. Sometimes it's purple. Looked way more blue in this photo. However, Miss Potts does play a character called Rescue. Iron Man has that armor made for her. And on top of that, he literally uses the word rescue in the trailer. No promise of rescue, while he's talking to none other than Mrs. Potts. Perhaps an allegorical line of dialogue there in the movie saying no chance of rescue, no promise of rescue, rather, no promise of ever seeing Miss Potts again. There is a chance if he can get close enough that she would be able to assist and or get him out of perhaps orbit, but I don't see Pepper Potts having the wherewithal, the technology, or the opportunity to get into deep space to save Tony at this time. So she's number 3, the 3rd least likely out of the 5 most likely to save Tony Stark. Speaking of deep space, that leads us directly to the 2nd highest, or number 1 closest to number 1, the number 1 person who didn't make number 1, someone who's already in deep space herself, Captain Marvel. We know from the trailers and the official synopsis that at least part of the Captain Marvel movie is going to take place in deep space. We also know from the end of Infinity War, when Nick Fury paged her, that she must be far away. And if she's in the part of Kree space that's close to where Tony may be now, she may intercept Tony and or the Milano on her way to Earth, assisting in his aid. However, the reason this is number 2 on my list and not the most likely person to save Tony Stark is when you take 2 completely different components that have nothing to do with each other and you run them into each other for the sake of the story, it feels kind of wrong. And I'm not talking about the way they ran the Guardians and the Avengers into each other in Infinity War. They'd been building that up for a long time. Thanos was a crossover character for almost 10 years and almost 20 movies. I'm talking about the last time they tried to do this was Thor Dark World, which may be regarded as maybe the worst movie in the MCU, somewhere right around, I always hear, Iron Man 2 and Hulk. That's up to you guys to decide what's your least favorite. But for a lot of people, it's Thor Dark World. And in that movie, they have Jane Foster run into the ether. Now, granted, I understand she's a scientist studying the convergence, which puts her there in the first place in order to run into the ether, is the same reason she even ran into Thor. Yeah, I get all that. But the fact that Thor's girlfriend gets the ether, which happens to be a liquefied infinity stone, it's just too coincidental. And story writing like that, where you simply have pieces that kind of have nothing to do with each other, run into each other for the sake of the story without any explanation or real reason, it just happens to be coincidence, it doesn't feel good. And that kind of writing is, in my opinion, below Marvel. They think things out way better than that. Speaking of thinking things out, guys, the number one person who's most likely to save Tony Stark is Tony Stark. How many times have we seen Iron Man in this predicament? I mean, it's literally his entire story arc. Think about Iron Man 1. Imprisoned, shrapnel in his chest, he finds a way out. Think about Iron Man 2. Think about Iron Man 3, imprisonment in of himself and his mind. Think about the Avengers movies. Think about what he does. He created an element in Iron Man 2, right? A lot of people like to say he didn't create an element. I pretty much believe he created a new element in Iron Man 2. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. He created what became Ultron. Iron Man creates, fixes, and invents things. And so he may be in a bad spot on that ship, but he's still on a ship full of technology with part of his Iron Man suit. And something tells me that to go ahead and discount Iron Man right now, to go ahead and discount Tony Stark right now is the worst idea possible, because that's what he does. So for me, Tony's going to find a way out of it. Maybe Nebula's going to help, but Tony's going to find a way out of it. Guys, let me know in the comments, do you think it's one of these five? Or perhaps is it someone else? Let me know in the comments who you think it is and why. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros at the 100 and the 150,000 subscriber mark. We're also at the 75K mark, which is right around the corner, giving away this Trendsetters limited edition, limited run 2500 commemoration plaque for the first Avengers movie, containing 10 original film cells. These things are completely sold out everywhere. I got mine some years ago at the Marvel Studios store in Universal Studios in Florida. We're also giving away the Stan Lee Funko Pop. This is number 283 from his cameo in The Winter Soldier. Found these on clearance at my local Walmart, which is insane considering how old they are. We're giving away these. All the same rules apply. All you have to do, leave a comment on this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, then grab the notification bell to keep up with the videos, because the more videos that you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. My name is Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.